In this next video, we're going to talk about receiving transfers. In Rick's Enterprise, the default way to do transfers is in-transit transfers, where you do a transfer out of one store, it puts it into an in-transit bucket, and then the receiving store has to receive those transfers. The other way of doing transfers is where it transfers it out of one store and puts it directly into the other store. We at Rick's highly recommend doing the in-transit way, where it takes it out of the one store, puts it into the in-transit bucket, and the receiving store has to receive those. It's more accurate that way, and you have your checks and balances. So in this example, Store 2 had just received a box of transfers, and they're going to receive those transfers in. So at the top right organization, we're going to be at Store 2, since that's where we're receiving those transfers. You're going to click on the Inventory tab, Receiving, and Receive Transfers. This will bring you into the Receive Transfer screen. You'll have the Transfer Order Header tab, SKU Detail tab, and Scanning tab. From here, you can type in your transfer order number right to the right of transfer order number. This transfer order number should be on the pick list that came with those transfers. Or you can use the lookup to look that transfer order up and select it. The transfer order will then come up on the screen. You'll see to the right the unreceived total for quantity and cost, and the received total if anything has been received off this transfer order. If you were checking your pick ticket against this and it matched exactly for the quantity and the cost, if you wanted to, you could click on the Receive Full Order button down at the bottom. To check it individually SKU by SKU, you can click on the SKU detail and receive those transfers in SKU by SKU manually. To the right, it's going to list all of the SKUs that you have on this transfer order. You can simply click on the SKU that you want to receive, and the sizes will come down below with the exact quantities that you have to receive. There's a checkbox that shows original on order quantities that you could check if you want to look at the original on order quantities. That'll show up in green right below the transfer items. If you received everything on this SKU, you can simply click on the Save SKU button. If you didn't receive everything, say you didn't get the 8.5, you could zero that out. You could also receive something that wasn't on the transfer order if you needed to. In this example, we're just going to receive everything for this SKU by clicking on Save SKU. If I wanted to go to the next SKU, I could just click on the next SKU, and those sizes would come up on the screen down below. And then again, I could receive what I wanted to receive. If I received everything, I would leave it as is and click on Save SKU. If I had a scanner hooked directly to my computer where I wanted to scan these transfers in, I could click on the Scanning tab up at the top. And then I could just scan each item here on the screen. It'll list the UPC, the SKU, the quantity, cost, and I can just scan continually if I have an autosave feature in my scanner. Once I've scanned the last item, I can click on the Add button to the right. And then I can click on Save Scanned Items down at the bottom. If I was on the screen and one of these items didn't have a barcode, I could easily click on SKU. Then I could manually pull up that SKU and put in the size and width if there was one, and I could click on the Add. And then when I'm done, I can click on Saved Scanned Items. There's also a button down at the bottom that says Populate List with Unreceived Items if you choose to do that. If there's any discrepancies at all where Store 1 in this example transferred items to Store 2, but Store 2 didn't receive everything that Store 1 said that they shipped, the main office will be responsible for reconciling those transfers. We have a feature in Rick's to reconcile transfers, and that's something that someone that has the authority from the main office will do. The store will not be responsible for that. And that completes how to receive transfers.